Hello everyone, very good morning and good evening. Parminder here. Uh, I'm basically director and the founder of the Sastra Gig Solutions. So we are here for a webinar on the transportation management, and our today's speaker is Mr. Adi Kumar. So Mr. Adi Kumar is having more than 15 years of experience in SAP industry, and he's working in last 4-5 years. He's working on TM, and he also has a background of SDMM, previously working. So we have picked it up a topic related to the domestic freight management for the today's webinar, where Mr. Adi Kumar would be talking about that topic, and he would be explaining detail. So I would not be taking much of your time, and I will be giving speaking authorizations to Mr. Adi, who would take ahead this webinar and will take up the topic. And this webinar is a continuation of our SAP trainings, which we are going to start the next week. We are going to start our SAP S4HANA Embedded TM batch, and Mr. Adi Kumar would be the trainer for that. So Adi, over to you.
Thank you, Parminder. I hope everybody is able to hear me clearly.
Yeah, Adi, we are able to hear you.
Okay, so I'm just jumping onto some other. We have basically covered the ground rules and who can take this training. So I'm jumping onto the transportation management. So everybody wants to understand what is transportation management. So transportation management is a part of supply chain management, and supply chain management covers many things, which is the order to cash, procure to pay, uh, promise, manufacturing, execution, warehousing, many things. So transportation is part of that. It is part when we are trying to fulfill the customer's requirement, and it comes into that part. So transportation management is nothing but moving of goods from one point to another point. And for that, it could be whatever the goods are required for that. So it would be based on that. The another thing is that why transportation management became so important. So I have to take you guys with the current scenario or why this becomes important. So just now we were talking about the supply chain management. So supply chain management required an optimization. So I will take a current example of this COVID-19 scenario. And we all know that China is a manufacturing or world's manufacturer. So everything is manufactured majorly at China. Because of this COVID, the supply chain got disrupted. Why it got disrupted? Because everybody was scared of China or material coming out of China, and the lead times were high. So supply chain optimization was required, or there needs to be different options to be looked. So what are different options? Since China was a manufacturer, so if this could be manufactured somewhere else, one of the options was India, the Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, or altogether bring the manufacturing back to US or European countries. So that is one way of looking at it. The second one is the China manufactured the requirements till 2025, the world's requirement, all materials till 2025. So why then the supply chain was, or we were seeing the shortages? So the simple thing is, it requires, uh, it was requiring multiple things. So the supply chain was not ready to transport everything within that short period of time. The demand immediately increased for certain products, but it required more things. So yep, it was asking for more things. So the that's where the supply chain required some another updates. So another point was that how we can optimize this lead time. Bringing everything from China and the shipping is taking time. So how to do that? China proposed some one belt proposal where they were optimizing infrastructure and reducing the timeline to reach ports. Especially, they wanted to reduce it from uh, the Pacific side and coming into the Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and cutting through that. So they wanted a direct route from via Pakistan or Iran to reach the European Union. So that's where the point was they were trying to reduce the lead time. So that is another way of looking at supply chain optimization. So one was looking at a lead time, how we can use that part. So lead time is nothing but looking for different routes and different way of bringing the material, which is part of the transportation management. And that became now the requirement in the new world. So that answers our why transportation management became important. So the next question is why then SAP TM? For TM, transportation management, there are multiple softwares or systems, I should say. SAP TM is one of that. There are multiple ERP systems. Oracle has their own product, which called Oracle TMS system. SAP TM, then various this carriers who actually carry out the transportation are having, they also carry out this thing. They have their own built ERP systems. So those are there available as well. So why then we chose or we want to go for SAP TM? So SAP TM is part of the Gartner's Magic Quadrant, which is the Gartner is world-renowned system, or it evaluates different systems according to business requirement and the ease of usability and other aspects of it. So they give a ranking for each system, and SAP is in that magic quadrant. So to be very simply, SAP TM is in that top ranking list, and that's why SAP TM is required, became important there. So that with that one, I'm moving on to the next slide. So who need transportation management system? So there are two scenarios. One is like a shipper. Shipper are basically manufacturers whose focus is more on a product of manufacturing and not the transportation of it. So those are called shippers. So, and the other one is a logistics service provider, which the name itself says, these are the ones who actually carry out the transportation activity for everyone. So there are different types of logistics service providers. One is a freight forwarders, which are, they just take the requirement from one and ask somebody to do that one for them. So they are just forwarders. The logistics service providers, they take requirement, they execute the whole thing, or they ask somebody else to carry out that one as well. So another one is a carrier. These are nothing but the ones who actually carry out, or the trucks who actually moves those ones. So those are called carriers. So LSP is a short form for the logistics service providers, and we would be using that a lot. So whatever the transport management system we choose, it should be able to cater both the processes of shippers as well as the logistics service providers. The more stress would be given on the shippers because SAP is manufacturer's ERP system, which is the best renowned manufacturing ERP system. So it essentially pushing them to use for the transportation management, or those would be looking for that more. And its processes are easily mapped into the system. That's why those would be focused. And that's where the transportation scenarios are.
Adi,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. What is the difference between carrier, freight forwarder, and
Yes, sure. So freight forwarders are nothing but they take requirement and they pass on to somebody who actually carries out that transportation. So they pass on to logistic service providers or carriers, and carriers are the ones who actually does pick the material and deliver it to the destination. So carriers are the ones, you can easily say, somebody who owns the trucks or who drives those trucks.
Can you take sorry to interrupt. Can you give me an example for this?
Carriers could be somebody like a FedEx, UPS, or professional services like Indian carriers, like courier services. Those are the logistic service providers. And freight forwarders, I can give you an example like somebody, okay, if you are aware of the CPA, CFA agents, custom forwarding agents, custom clearing agents. So those are but the freight forwarders. They just do certain part of it. They take the requirement and get executed via somebody else. The logistic service providers, FedEx is the biggest one. UPS, DHL are the logistic service providers. Another one name you want to know is Maersk. Maersk is a shipping line who does the shipment or moving the trailers across the world. So those are.
FedEx is both carrier and logistic service provider. Then?
Yes.
And one more thing is there is a TransferX system. Is it relevant to TM collaboration portal? TransferX. My client using TransferX system to create a shipment. So is it something called a collaboration portal of TM? Assigning the carrier?
No. Transparent, you said?
TransferX. TRA.
Okay. That's something like a custom made program through which they are creating the shipments or doing the requirement. It's simply called a forwarding order or freight.
But order. It's not relevant to TM module then?
It is the requirement capturing form, you can say, where the TM will require the requirement. So TM needs, like I just told you, right? The transportation requirement. So transportation management will take from point A to point B, right? So, so those points needs to be defined somewhere. So that would be that form would be doing that part.
May I know from which submodule they have customized this TransferX?
Yes, we will be looking into that while doing to the syllabus. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Adi.
Yeah. Shall I move to the next slide? Okay, so like I said, the shipper scenarios, which I am going to be just telling you few scenarios, which would be part of the shipper scenario. So these are 5 scenarios which are basically covered by SAP TM. One is outsourced transportation. So essentially it says that manufacturer does the manufacturing and let the carrier do. So outsourced transportation, it's where we just manufacture and ask somebody to do the transportation. We just give you the requirement and they have to do the whole thing. The other one is international outbound transportation. So we want the outbound transportation to be planned from our plant to the customer who is outside our country. So if you are in India, then outside India would be the export thing, which we want to do that. The other one is international inbound logistics. So it's importing materials from within the country. So the classic scenario, again, China sending materials to us in factory in India. The other one is a domestic inbound transportation. So somebody, a supplier, sending material to our factory. If we want to plan that, that would be domestic inbound transportation. And the last one, domestic outbound transportation, which is where everybody wants the transportation to be planned, is you want the material to reach your customers within the country. And that is the scenario we are going to see today in our demo.
So you mean to say these are the 5 processes you are going to explain, or how it will? I was a little bit confused.
These are the 5 scenarios which are available in SAP TM for shipper scenario. Okay, and these are the whole.
So shipper scenario only, right?
Yeah. LSP, majorly all other, like this is international outbound transportation, international inbound, and this 4 are part of it. The LSP will have this 4 instead of the first one. The other 4 are LSP scenarios.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, could you please explain once again the international inbound as well as the domestic inbound?
Okay, so international inbound meaning coming to us. So specifically, this is for shipper. So I am talking inbound coming to us, a manufacturing facility. So from where it is coming? It is from outside the country, coming into the country where we are, our plant is situated. So that would be international inbound. And for domestic, it would be like within the country. So if we are taking example of India, then plant in Chennai getting material from Maharashtra or Delhi, that would be that domestic inbound transportation. Is that clear, or I should explain it? You still have doubts?
Yeah, Adi, it's good, but referring to this naming convention, inbound logistics and inbound transportation. Why it is?
So it's a transportation. Logistics is a generalized term, so it can be a transportation. Yes, I will change that one. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some example of the domestic one and certain things how the SAP TM can do that part. So I will start taking a domestic outbound scenario, the last one scenario what we wanted to cover up. So here I'm taking a plant. So let's say our plant is named A. So from plant A, we are going to supply it to 3 customers. So I have to create another 3 customers like this one. So I'm just changing the naming. So for time being, we will say customer B. Customer C and customer D. Okay. So here, so we have to supply whatever the requirements of all these 3 customers from plant A. So to draw, it can go from A to B, B to C, and C to D. So that way it can happen, right? And there could be other way as well. Somebody might see, hey, why I have to follow this convention route? I can have another way, right? So it could go from A to D. So D to C and C to D again. But it can follow like A to D, D to B, B to C, and multiple combinations, right? Is there any doubt or anybody has any questions for this one?
No, Adi, you can continue.
So here I have chosen three paths: A to B, B to C, C to D, A to D, D to C, C to B, and A to D, D to B, and B to C. There could be another path, A to C, then B or D, and that way, correct? I have just not chosen that part because we want everything to be done cost effectively, right? We want the cost to be minimum. So we want like the distance to be minimum because everybody is doing that distance wise calculation or charging us per distance. So that way we want to reduce it. So A to C is not chosen by me. But it could be chosen if we have our own fleet, meaning we are FedEx, right? And we want to do like make a whole trip and come bring that truck back to my plant again, right? That would be my requirement, and I want this to be reduced with the lowest mileage on my own truck. So if in that case, it will go from A to C, C to B, D, and then A. So the spatial distancing is what we will say that's a distance between the points. So that would be another scenario. So how we ask system to do that is part of the optimization run of SAP TM. And there are planning profiles and how to choose which route and why it can be reduced. That would be part of the optimization run, and that would be covering in our training. During that training, we will be covering this part. So in order to carry out whole scenario or the process, the system needs to have some data, initial data, which we call it as a master data. So what is it? The TM system needs, what is that one? Is a business partner. So business partner is nothing but the entities which are required for carrying out the business. The customer, plant, carrier, or suppliers are nothing but the business partners. We said transportation requires locations. Because we want to know, we have to move it from one point to another point. That point is nothing but the location. So this master data would be required as a requirement in the system. The other one is the zones. So SAP TM will always require these locations to be part of the zones. So what is zone? So zone is nothing but a area, a spatial area within your system. It has nothing to do with the actual design or physically geographical location wise. So it is you can say zone might contain only one city, a district, a state, or whole country. So that way the zones can be defined, and those definition would be dependent on the client's requirement, and we will be deciding that during our training as well. What are the considerations we have to give while defining the transportation zones? The next one is the transportation lane. So we know now we have to move from point A to point B, and that comes under transportation zone X and transportation zone Y. So now to carry out this one, who are the carriers or who is going to do that execution for us? That is stored or has been maintained under transportation lanes. So how the transportation lanes are determined, how that master data needs to be updated would be part of our syllabus. Then the modes of...
Adi, can we consider route as a transportation lanes because default route and all will be there, right?
Correct, correct. Routes are also part of the master data. So routes are nothing but for specific customer, you define that in the system saying that, hey, I want to do this via this and that route. So that's a specific one. The lane,
but it's not referring to transportation lane, right? Lane is different and route is different.
Yes, yes, both are different.
Here in transportation lane, carriers involved and route also involved, right?
No, not routes are involved. Only carriers and the zones are involved.
Carriers and zones. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And means of transport.
Means of transport. Okay, thank you.
So modes of transport are nothing but how we are transporting the goods. So simply there are only 4 ways of doing it. Road, rail. Rail is part of road, but execution wise the rails are different. So that's why the rails are different. Then air and the ocean, ship. So these are the modes of transport. And if you want to define something based on your own requirements, then we can define those as well. The means of transport. So let's say we want to transport it via road. So what is the difference between means of transport and modes of transport? So modes of transport just tells us that how or it has been getting delivered, whether it is via road, rail, air or ship. The means of transport via road, then there are different ways of transportations. So you have a 53-feet trailer, 40-feet trailer, 20-feet trailers. You have a temperature controlled trailers. You have like a tanker trailers, which are used for the gasoline, petroleum, diesel for that. So these are different ways of doing the transport. So you have vans, you have pickup trucks, you have a trolleys. So those are nothing but the means of transport. Okay, so that is required, and that makes a lot of difference when you are doing the transportation lane and carrier selection. And the last one, charge calculation. So nobody is doing it for free, right? Everybody wants money for whatever they are doing. So everybody has a different way of calculating charges. So somebody might say, hey, based on your weight, I'm going to charge you. Somebody might say, based on your distance, I'm going to charge you. Somebody say, I want per distance, per weight, per volume, per this, per that. So those are nothing but the charge calculation rules, and those we have to define in the system. So those are nothing but how we are going to calculate our cost. And if at all we have to pay somebody else, then this would be part of that one. The other one is in the calculation charges. I'm just giving you another example saying that somebody might say that, hey, I'm carrying out the whole shipment, but I need the fuel extra. It should be extra on that charge. So that is another part where the charge calculation comes into picture. And if you guys are involved with the international shipments, then you might be knowing that during custom, there are multiple services, crane services, the demurrage services, the cleaning services, the trailer cleaning, the insurance, the custom clearing. Then there are multiple holding charges. So those are part of this transportation charge calculation. So these master data would be required to execute the whole process. So let's see what is the process. How is the transportation outbound process is shown. Currently, I'm showing you a screen print of a TM standalone. So when we talk about TM standalone with HANA implementation, as for HANA implementation, you have a choice whether you want the TM to be part of the HANA server or you want it to be a different. So when it is a different, it is called a standalone carrying card, side card. These are different way of naming it. So I'm just saying that it's a standalone server. So there, the SAP ERP or HANA system will create a sales order, which would be sent to our TM system, which creates a requirement, which is called order-based transportation requirement. So for executing everything, we need at least the requirement to be generated in the system. So this is one way of doing it. The other way is via report and generate a forwarding order, and that would be created in the system and then it goes further on. So the requirement is generated. Then our system converts that requirement into a meaningful freight terms, which is nothing but called as a freight unit, which is the lowest unit which we consider for our planning. Then this freight unit gets planned into a freight order, and from freight order we create a delivery, outbound delivery. So the freight order is planning that whole thing and saying that, okay, I want to do this delivery, or the planning is correct, and this would be need to be executed via this way.
So what is OTR?
Sorry?
OTRs. What is OTRs?
Order-based transportation requirement, OTR. And this is for sidecar standalone, TM standalone scenario. We will be seeing that when it is an embedded system, this is not required. It directly creates the freight unit. So I'm going to draw that in the next slide. So delivery gets created, and then the freight order is tendered to the carrier. Actually, and then the transportation service provider, whatever they accept and all, then it is executed via them. And once they do the delivery and we get the proof of delivery, we do the settlement for this service providers, which creates a purchase order in the ECC or S4 system, and then the invoice verification happens. So to talk about the embedded system, so let me draw certain lines and we will start looking at it. So please bear with me for some time. So I'm just creating a swim lane first. So for embedded TM embedded system, there is no OTR generation. It would be directly freight unit. Okay. And the freight unit gets planned. Let me do that quickly. So the freight order gets converted. Then the freight order, the delivery proposals are created via this one. I will give you a time to ask about this one as well. So what is delivery proposal? It actually nothing but intimation from TM system to create a delivery in S4. Okay. So the delivery immediately gets created here. There is a, if you see here, the way it's seen, apart from this diagram, apart from this, everything remains same in the embedded system. Okay, so let me go through a system demo where I can just create a sales order and show you how freight unit gets created and how we can convert it into a freight order. And this code would be part of your the syllabus thing which we will be covering. Okay. Do you have any other questions? I will be specifically for embedded and standalone process wise. And meanwhile, I will show you in the system how to create. So this is a system where this is embedded system. I'm just saving time for us, just copying it from the previous one, a sales order. So, okay, so there is a product, and this is the customer where I want to deliver it. And if you want, I can show you, this is a plant from where I'm going to deliver that one. So let me go and check certain things here. So that's there, conditions. Okay, schedule 9. There is a 20 quantity confirm. Okay. Shipping there. So just because there is no checking rule maintained for this product, these are not happening. So I have to manually push those ones. Okay. Ideally, when we do that one whole thing, the schedule line should get confirmed, and the document is complete. I don't see any incompletion log on the sales order. So let's see what happens on that one. Okay. So let's save this sales order. Okay. It must have give you an order number 366. Okay. Let me display that one for you guys. Okay. So earlier you never saw this tab. So this is nothing but the TM communication tab. So whenever you create that sales order, it gets created or transferred into the TM system where this needs to be, this got created. So this is a freight unit automatically created. Okay. Now let me open up another transaction. So most of you guys are using this TM system, so know about this whole thing. So let's see that one. So for now, I'm just going through the NWPC. And that requirement should come into my cockpit, which is nothing but the optimizer cockpit. And here I want to put everything into planning. So freight unit is already created. Now I'm going to create a freight order against that one. Okay. So, now let me sort it out so that my freight unit shows up earlier. That's fine. It gave me some warning saying that I haven't done anything from that one. So that will be there. And, So I'm essentially just so this is a profile under which I'm going to see my freight unit, and I will have to convert that into a plan freight order. So let me see if that happens or not. Okay, let's do one thing. So we know what is our freight unit number, right? Here it is. Let me find it out over here. Okay. So the system found it out. I'm choosing that, and I'm asking system to. I'm just choosing my trucks. So these are means of transport under which I'm going to do that whole thing. Okay. And I'm just assigning both together, and system will propose a freight order. So this is a temporary freight order assignment. And once I say save, it is going to create a freight order. So this is the freight order. Okay. You see that utilization is only 2%. Let me open up the freight order. So you might be saying, what is that one and whether it has been updated or not. So let's go back and check this one out. And then it should show you that document flow and freight order should be created. See, not yet created, sorry, too early. Okay, it is not getting communicated as of now. So let's see why. So freight order is created. Let me assign it to some carrier. So as you guys can see, let me put for DHL India. I don't know whether that is going to happen or not, but let's say. So this is nothing but a freight order. And now, if you want, I can do create delivery. That is nothing but a delivery creation from here to the ECC side. And the flow, you will be able to see that. See this one. So here that was a sales order. This was our freight unit, and now this new delivery got created. So let's see whether that is reflected in our system or not. See, the pop-up has already been given, saying that there are some outbound delivery documents that have been created. So this is the delivery document. It has been split into 2 pallets. The material configuration is that 10 pieces are put into one freight unit, or pallet wise it gets split. So that's why the units are shown up as a 2 quantities instead of 20 pieces. And this is the process. And then there is a subcontracting process where we want to send it to this carrier, asking him whether he's able to do that one for us or not. And that should be a charges calculation. I don't believe there are any charges here, but we will be having a master data maintained, a freight agreement will be created through which this charges will be calculated, and then we will be able to do the settlement for that. So This is the outbound process for us to do. And I'm going to start the demo here. So anybody having any questions on other things, let me know, and then we will take up one by one.
So guys, I have given authorization to unmute you. Please go one by one. Okay. Please go one by one.
Yeah, my question is how integration, yeah, like it's like embedded system. So what are the business function you need to activate, and what is the organization structure, if any, in TM? Like we create transportation zone already in the plant, right, and shipping point. So what is the
Yes,
business function which we activate? We have to like integrate.
correct. So
Separate unit.
that would be there. The two business functions needs to be activated for the BTEs to be activated. Then the embedded will start, and then you have to do certain configurations from to get those requirements to be transferred from S4 to TMS system. So these would be part of our training syllabus part. Yes. And
Yes. So Adi, so I think since this is just an introductory webinar, these details will obviously be covered in detail with the actual training, right?
correct, yes, that is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my second question is like already in ECC normal process, we have shipping and transportation, and through transportation we have service order create, like in PO. Then service order we do the payment. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the benefit you get when you migrate to HANA? In the functionality wise, I think the process cycle remains the same.
Yeah. So
Most of the process, like the cycle, like yeah, in TM it is done. That is a different story. But what is the advantage?
So Manoj, that is possible. The TMS gives you a more flexibility with the planning, the more detailing about the charges, the more flexibility with the carrier choosing. Okay? So earlier, when you talk about ECC, there was something called as a LETRA. So logistics execution transportation system. Okay, it was part of ECC. That was very early stages of TMS system, where the shipment used to be got created, and there you put the carrier name or whoever the vendor was doing that one, you used to put that one, and through that the service and PO was getting created. But it was very limited. There was no tendering at all. There was no choice of maintaining multiple carriers and which one to choose. And there is no planning at all. You were just choosing something and doing that part. And that was at mercy of somebody's knowledge. Here, we are doing it with the optimization. So we are actually doing whether this load is fitting into the truck with the special thing which is possible. The other one is whether you must have seen during my presentation, I showed you that it is going from plant A to customer B, C, D, how to route that one and minimize the cost, transportation cost. That is the part of the TM thing which can be achieved. The tendering process, the settlement process. These are the advantages if you go for TM. If you don't want to go for TM and ECC is fine, then there are limitations to that one. I might be able to share with you the limitations or the advantages of TM over LETRA, SAP LETRA. That would be, we would be covering under the first 1 or 2 sessions in the training, where it would be detailedly explained.
Yeah, that would be great, Adi. And may I know the differences between embedded TM and standalone TM? Means OTR is eliminated and shipping is not there. Other than that, what is other functionality? Why we should go to embedded TM instead of standalone TM?
So it's an architectural differences. Standalone is good if you are communicating with not just S4 HANA system but other as well. And those have not migrated from ECC to HANA architecture. Okay.
I
So,
understood like that medium clients, medium sized
yes, yes,
can go for a embedded TM, and if it is complex transportation system they need means can go
yes,
for standalone TM. Am I
yes.
correct?
Yes, that is one way of looking at it. Yes, that is one looking at it. LSPs are going for the standalone because they have to do it for multiple things,
So
Okay.
and it,
Okay.
okay, so Adi, so is it possible that even if we are using the S4 system,
mhm.
we can still continue to use the standalone
So
system?
so the standalone and embedded is just the server point of view difference. The functionality wise, there is no difference.
Yeah.
If you want that to be clarified, Akira, so that would be the simpler way of looking at it. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
well,
The
e-
functionality wise, it is not different. It is just the system wise. You don't have to look at multiple systems. You just have to look into S4.
yeah. Well, Akira is actually my daughter's name. Even her
Sorry, sorry.
her online
Sorry.
school is on Zoom, so I think I logged in with her profile, I think.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm Siddhant. So it's just a matter of having a separate instance if
Correct.
we are continue if we are using the S4, but we still want to continue to use the standalone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
one
similar
more
to
thing,
EWM.
in your
EWM,
demo,
like you can have standalone EWM, you can have embedded EWM. You know, in embedded EWM, the advantage is everything done in the same system. But standalone have advantage that failures, like as you told, complex like geo disparate unit freight order happening. So failure rate say happening to local standalone. In embedded, problem is entire system if have issue, your the transportation cannot be done in isolation. That is
okay.
advantage in standalone.
Yeah, yeah, there are multiple things, advantages or disadvantages. That's up to you guys to decide. Uh, so you don't have to shift master data. That's one way. The
Yeah,
unnecessary
good.
requirements are not there. So that's an embedded advantage. And uh, from disadvantage point, you already pointed out that it's a single instance or anything impacting database, it's impacting the whole system. And unavailability, those embedded have certain functionalities taken out. The collaboration portal is having limited access with the embedded system. Standalone has option that you can still continue on that one. So yeah.
Limited means can't we use collaboration portal for embedded TM?
The collaboration portal is removed and it is renamed something else, the supplier network portal, which is part of the Ariba network and other sourcing things. So it is part of that one through which it
Okay.
carried out.
Okay. Supplier.
So
Hi, Adi, I have a question. With the training, will you be covering the technical aspects also? Like I have heard that some BOPF development happens in TM.
yes, yes. So BOPF is the architectural things. There are certain configurations or condition writing, which is part of the HANA architecture. So TM was early adopter of that one. So yes, it will be there.
Adi,
Yeah, hi Adi. I have a question here, Ritesh. Here,
Mhm.
I have just two quick questions. Will you be covering in not in detail, but like a good amount of process info wise integration between EWM and TM with all the possible scenarios?
Yes, that would be part
Okay.
of the what
And,
you say, the integration. Yeah.
okay, awesome. And how about this event management and global track and trace?
Event management we would be covering, but global track and trace is a part of it, but it would be advanced topic, yes.
Okay, but I thought it was part of S4 embedded. I mean,
Yes,
that's how I thought it.
yes, it is, but it is something advanced part of the SAP TM thing, which is extra license from SAP as well.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be part of this training.
Yeah.
Okay. And last thing is we will be doing this training on TM 9.5.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it is
Perfect.
a
Thank you.
9.5 plus. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Pranit here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Typically, what functions can you perform in transportation cockpit? Is it like a planning tool?
Yes. So transportation cockpit is nothing but the manual planning in transport.
Okay, it's not
automation.
It's not automated, right? Because
No.
I saw you assigning DHL as a carrier. Let's say I'm a shipper and I have many carriers
Correct.
and contracts. So I don't know whom to assign. I mean, typically that's when your planning engine would kick in and would plan the carrier and the equipment.
Correct. So Praneeth, that would be part of the planning optimizer settings in this course, where we can decide which strategies to be used, and the carrier selection, planning, everything would be under that one. So it's based on the customization and planning profile configuration through which this can be achieved. So in this current one where I showed, I manually put the carrier, yes, because there were not enough planning settings were there. So I was just showing one of the how it is done.
Okay.
Continuing to his doubt, so as part of the planning, carrier will get assigned and delivery gets created as part of delivery proposal, right?
Delivery proposals is always a manual process, but automation can be done definitely.
Yeah. Whether it is automatic or manual, but delivery proposal means carrier got assigned to freight order and delivery gets created in ECC.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the trailer unit? I have seen your in your demo.
So trailer unit. So whenever you see a trailer, right? I just imagine a trailer. So there is a cabin, right, in front of it, and there is a tractor.
Engine.
Engine and so in transportation it is called tractor and trolley. And one is the 53 feet trailer is a trolley, and front one is a trailer. So the combination of that is called transportation. And many of the times when we talk about the rail transport or ship transport, where we just bring this trailer and drop that trailer there. So that's where the transportation unit comes into picture.
Okay. So transportation proposal gets created and TU gets created.
Yes. That's the whole process. Yes.
Where it exactly involves in our scenario, transportation proposal is not discussed, right? Shipment in EC
that would be
refers to
outbound, international outbound transportation or inbound transportation.
Not in domestic.
Domestic, if we are doing the this change, the mode of transport change. So from road to rail, rail to road, at that time it comes into picture. So yeah, it would be there.
Okay, so shipment refers to TU in transportation management, if I'm not wrong.
Shipment would be freight unit or freight order. Freight order to be very
freight
specific.
order,
Freight order,
So from freight order, how it comes reverse, like outbound delivery is getting created.
Because you so the process is very different. So you want the transportation to be planned beforehand. When you have a requirement generated, which is a sales order based, right? Or a PO, STO. So through that, you create a requirement and you want to plan the transportation beforehand. So sometimes you have to book a ship, the volume on a ship. So that's where you need the planning to be done beforehand.
This is what generally will create outbound delivery, then shipment gets created, right? Here, freight order is a shipment. I got clarity again. Some on the other way got confused. Might not be this to you. Okay, now I got clarified. Yeah.
Tell me one thing. Like you told, transportation management is only applicable in case of outbound, right? Like
not necessarily inbound as well.
Inbound also, right?
Yeah.
So like purchase order we have and we want to sell, like maybe like I purchase from vendor, you can say. Tell me the scenario in for like yeah, for GR. That's it.
Yeah. So when you create a purchase order, then that will create a OTR or the freight unit in the TM system. You plan it, and when you do the delivery proposal, it will create an inbound delivery for the purchase order.
That confirmation need to activate.
Correct. Yes.
According to the TM integration.
Correct. Via TM integration, that will be done. Yes.
So inbound will trigger in case of confirmation, and in the plant we have assigned the transportation planning
correct,
point.
Correct. Yes. Correct. Based on multiple configurations.
And then how the settlement done? Is it in like you do the GR of the main like material, right? And parallelly,
the GR has to be done in a S4.
So like similar to this OTC cycle, to cap cycle, you have like sales order. There you have purchase order. Again, sales order, you do the freight unit that what you told OTRs, what you told FTR, the transfer requirements.
Freight unit, yeah, that is fine. Yes.
Yeah, and freight order, then that proposal, delivery proposal. Huh? Similar to that, we have purchase order. Then we have maybe freight unit is it, and then freight order, and then inbound delivery.
Yeah, correct.
And then inbound delivery to GR. Then we have the payment, right, to the
yes.
Transporter. So there we have a separate settlement. To the vendor we assign a freight order.
Correct. Yes.
That vendor is created separately, right?
Yes.
Main vendor and freight vendor.
Yes. So if you want to go with the route, then purchase order was created and you used to pay for the vendor. There are multiple charges, right? For transportation or the freight charges, you used to put a different vendor name in that condition, and you were settling it via Myro. So that way, similarly, that freight thing is taken care by TMS.
Normally, what happened that in the detail we assign the vendor, like freight conditions say FRA1, right?
Yes.
We need to assign the vendor, right? At least there is a separate line item in the GR also accounting document. It traps clearing and freight cost, right? And then invoice side we have a separate freight vendor to pay. Right? Here the way is to go into the transportation system and then do the settlement and pay to the freight vendor, right? There in ECC side we will have the verification, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And second thing is like we may have, say we are say importing from US, okay, and we are taking a product in Delhi, okay. So it can have all the routes, air, sea, and water. Air, sea, and sorry, road. Okay. So how like are all these routes captured? Then it is a very complex thing, right? You can have like air, dispatch mode from US to say Delhi direct, but it may not be the economical. You can have via sea, say maybe New York to say Europe, and from Europe to say maybe New York to say Munich, and Munich to say Delhi, like that something. So are routes captured? How you decide the optimized route, like which is the giving you the cheapest cost? You will optimize based on the cost and volume, right?
So in that scenario, it would be based on a route. There would be a fixed route under which there would be pre-carriage, carriage, and post on carriage. 3 stages, and those 3 stages would be optimized individually on different documents. So that would be an international outbound transportation scenario.
You have to capture all the possibilities. Are you able to capture in TM all the possibilities or selected possibilities which the company described?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay. Right. And this route is assigned to the transportation planning, right? The route is assigned to the TPP. The departure zone is there, transportation zone is there. So since
Yes.
the multiple routes, system will determine the best route, right?
Yes, the best route. Best route or default route. Based on that, it will do that.
Okay.
There are master data for that one, and that would be part of our course. Yes.
And you told event management, so somebody has to also purchase event management. And then your flow, I think at one point you are going to event management.
Some part of event management, yes.
So the customer has to purchase event management also. Okay. Huh?
Yes.
He needs event management consultant also.
Yeah, the way SAP sales.
Yeah, but the thing is, cannot be it's not mandatory, but it's monitoring, tracking will be there. Else we can track the events in freight unit and all. I've seen somewhere manually you can. It's not mandatory to have a EM, but it's better to have to track all the events automatically and can.
Yeah, that is true.
Adi, one question from my end. Does SAP TM also has bidding capabilities, spot bids, or any of the sequential bid? All that capability does it have?
It has
Have they provided?
There are 2 types of tendering done. One is a peer-to-peer, where you just send one RFQ and get the response from carrier. The other one is a broadcast one, where you can decide whether the first response or the lowest response, quality response. Okay. So that is there available.
And Adi, last question from my side. You have told why TM means Ganter will read the system. So Ganter is a partner for TM. So TM should have Gantt charts are there to track the geo coordinates, right?
No, Gantt charts are there to show how the resource is getting utilized.
Getting you to demands.
Utilized meaning, so there are driver schedules, right? You cannot ask them to work for so many hours in a week. They have to work only these many hours in a day. So that
calendar resources type.
Correct. So he might be having a holiday or something like that. So that one you can see visually on Gantt charts.
Okay. And what is the some other purpose of Gantt chart?
So Gantt charts can be used for planning your freight orders as well. So if a freight order was created and it's kind of having a problem with the scheduling, you can, with the Gantt chart, you can reschedule that whole thing automatically. So that is possible.
So freight order and one more question: freight order and freight unit can be as a shipment, refers to shipment.
No. Freight order is a shipment, not freight unit.
Not freight unit. So freight unit is a collection of goods with packing material, right? So resource should get assigned. So freight order will get created.
Correct. Yes.
So it's good session. Yeah, I got clarified about that freight order main topic really.
But one thing is, how if EWM or WM is activated, then you have all trouble, right?
Yes.
Because it further make it complicated. Many information flowing from WM or EWM. WM, of course, in HANA will not be there.
WM is not an issue. TM and EWM integration has limitations. So yes.
This like, go ahead, madam.
As you said, Adi, Elytra and TM versus TM, you have told, right? So that topic might be covered in next session. Means tendering would be possible, multiple carriers are not possible in Elytra, which is possible in TM, you have told. Can you share, could you please share some 2-3 points which are advantage for TM compared to Elytra? Elytra is there now? Now any clients are using? I don't know. I'm new to Elytra, really.
So TRA was there. It was the initial version of TM system, SAP's TM thing. So the shipments were created via TRA. It gave you an opportunity to create a shipment or combine multiple deliveries into one shipment. But it was not giving you an advantage of selecting a route. Which route is better for you? How the load can be planned? That is not covered in TRA. The optimizer thing, whole thing is out of that TRA. The carrier tendering is not there. In TRA, you just assign one carrier. The charge sheet and everything is not there. You just have to put some condition, 1 or 2 condition, and then based on that service PO gets created.
Yeah,
so
condition means understood. And condition means I got reminded about this BRF plus condition. BRF plus conditions are I know that from freight unit freight order should create automatically, means this condition. Different conditions, almost 50 plus conditions are there. Should we learn as a TM consultant, should we learn BRF conditions? Else a separate consultant will be there for this BRF plus conditions.
As a TM resource or consultant, you would be using BRF plus architecture for doing your config as well as execution of the documents.
So we should learn this. We should be perfect in BRF plus conditions as well, as and when required.
Not perfect, but it would be part of the course where we will be defining certain things in the BRF plus.
Okay, guys, if there are no more questions, we can close the session here. Thank you, Adi, for your time. And guys, you have a lot of links which has been shared by Arsh. If you want to enroll for the training or if you have further queries, the email ID and the WhatsApp number has been given by which you can contact. And we will be sharing the recording of this demo. We will be sharing with you. Our regular trainings will start from next weekend, from Saturday onwards. So thank you everyone for being part of it. And thank you, Adi, for taking your time to go through with a very interesting session.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye-bye for now. Have a great week ahead.